Welcome, everybody. This is D. Durrell Spears with D. Durrell Life Solutions today. I hope everybody is having an excellent Juneteenth. Being a pro Black Pan African, I definitely enjoy celebrating the last of our people learning of their freedom in this country. Um, I look at Juneteenth from a very unique perspective because it never should have happened. Um, so I just wanted to kind of do a quick intro in regards to that. But I do enjoy um, Juneteenth um, activities that go on, particularly living 40 minutes from the shore of Galveston. There's tons of things that go on from the Houston Galveston area and throughout the state of Texas, and now the um, holiday itself has grown to be a national holiday. Um, Once again, I know it's been a long time since I have went live. Matter of fact, I posted a video early today and I decided to go live. I'm trying to be more and more consistent with creating content in this area. Um, I've made a decision, and I'm trying to be consistent as much as I can as it involves work, personal things. Um, and this summer, I'm very busy. And so I'm trying to balance the best I can to do as much positive content that involves mental health. Also, guys, I want you all to know that I am creating a new channel that will be called Trendy Uploads and Streams. I'm going in a direction where I will close the D Derail Live channel again, hopefully for good, and not allow myself to get sucked into negative content. I'm trying to be more positive. I want to do more content that reflects the positive things that I engage in real life. The negativity is taking a toll offline and etc. Um, I don't do the offline thing, but over the last 3 to 4 months, 5 months especially, um, the offline activities have increased, wanted and unwanted, and I'm just trying to move into a different direction. So I'm looking to do more of a uh, trend like pop culture like channel. I'm going to continue to do my therapeutic um, content on D Durrell Life Solutions. Appreciate everybody for coming in. Appreciate you for coming in, Miss T. Pre. Thank you so much for coming in on Juneteenth. Appreciate you for coming in. Um, so I'm going to kind of go into the topic today, which is coping with routine stresses of life. Part of what I would like to do as I introduce the variety of stresses that we all know and deal with on an ongoing daily basis is to also provide therapeutic tips, therapeutic strategies, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, because everybody is different. Everybody has different levels of stressors. Everybody has different types of stressors. And everybody responds to stressors differently. One of the things that is a bit troublesome when I see um, content creators on YouTube and on TikTok, they create a list of, of behaviors, ideas that they think are uniform to apply to every situation. As a therapist, I understand that everybody is a unique individual that responds and behaves in the environment in a different manner. We have to be cognizant of that. As we go through this discussion, as I talk about the variety of stresses that one engages in on a day to day basis, one person can talk about it in a particular manner, and then someone else can say something totally different from a whole totally unique experience. Thank you so much, Tracy's Chronicles, for coming in. Appreciate that. Definitely appreciate you for coming in today. We have four in the chat. Appreciate you all for coming in. This has been I should have posted this particular live stream earlier today, but I was barbecuing, spending time with the family. Um, it rained today, but it was a really, really nice light rain. I was relaxing on the balcony, chilling, reflecting on life, reflecting on business, reflecting on what I would do for this particular show. I also would like to announce as I get things going, probably a month or maybe 2 months from now, I will begin to give out memberships. And in that membership, I want you all to understand this. And for those who are here, you can let others know that have not been privy. I will, I will engage in memberships, which they can be listed or unlisted, in which I will provide some level of mental health consultation that is more personalized to the individual questions that maybe some things that you would not want to be posted online. I'm going to engage in something that's a little bit more exclusive, a little bit more directed, confidential in a sense, where if those that are members, if you want to ask certain questions, you want to feed me through email a question that you would like me to answer, particular things as it involves mental health diagnoses, any negative experiences that you may have experienced in receiving mental health services, whether it's yourself, your child, family member, friend, or what have you. You're more than happy to give me an email or within that your members only within the members membership, you can get those answers. Some things right now, I think that it would be better for me to do it that way as opposed to me just answering types of questions, all types of questions on a regular live stream. So I'm definitely going to put that type of content on members on. Members on. We're going to do memberships for that. Okay. So let's talk about coping with daily stressors. Now I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to list a variety of daily stressors that I have seen throughout my practice, throughout my 20 plus years of mental health experience that people engage in from a daily basis. Okay. And I'm going to list the top 5 things that I see complain about, primary complaints. Also, I'll just talk about myself in this engagement. I will also talk about the stressors that I have to cope with as a clinician, as a father, as a husband, um, being a content creator, being a business owner, etc. Okay, because we all carry different roles. Um, we all hold a variety of hats in life, and in each hat that one wears comes some level of stress at some point. The main thing is that how do we cope with it? How do we deal with it? How do we manage it? And how do we minimize? And the key word is minimizing those stressors, because the number one contributor, one of the most definite contributors to mental illness and decrease in functionality is stress. Stress triggers mental health, negative mental health symptoms. Okay? I see Tracy's Chronicles stated, I suffer from paranoid schizophrenia. That's a very severe mental illness. I'm not going to comment too much on that. That's a whole show for itself. Um, but that is an illness that has to be managed by medication. And once you are stable enough, participate in some level of therapy. Okay, so I'm going to move forward. The number one. So I'm going to talk about major stressors. Major stressors in life is managing relationships. When I talk about relationships, meaning dealing with other people, friends, enemies, friend enemies, whatever you want to call them these days. Managing relationships is very stressful. Now, I listed in the description, I listed, personal relationships, romantic relationships, friendships, family members, or co-worker relationships, just relationships, period. When clients come into my practice, as they give complaints, as they talk about why they are here, as they are talking about what is the reason they're seeking therapy, it is relationship based. And whether or not they are experiencing certain types of symptoms such as depression, anxiety, um, some level of suicidality, or even psychosis, as Tracy's chronicles just mentioned, with having paranoid schizophrenia, there are social relationships that are connected to how one functions and how one responds, getting support, lack of support, um, creating a safe environment. Okay, relationships are a part of life. Relationships is a fundamental connective route to society between one individual to another. We all have relationships. We were born into relationships. However, relationships can be quite negative. Relationships can be quite toxic. Relationships can also be draining. That's the negative side. However, relationships can also be nurturing. They can also be very positive. They can be very beneficial, be very helpful. But when it comes to stress, when it comes to clients that come in and that make several different complaints, things that are going on in their life that they're not happy with, that they want to work on, a key component of that is communication, and communicating with other people about whatever is going on within one's life. So relationships cause stress. No matter how good a relationship is, at some point, from a day-to-day perspective, some of these relationships can cause stress. The closer this person is to you, the harder it is to deal with the stress that they are bringing to your life. And many times, it's family members. I have people come in that talk about their friend is stressing them out with all their issues. They're needy. They always want their attention. They're borrowing money. Um, they don't follow through. They lie a lot. They stole from you. Um, Things of that sort. Family members. People complain about their parents, their sisters, their brothers, their husband or their wife. Their children are stressing them out. The neighbors. If they're in the church, any type of social organization, they talk about the stressors that are going on in their primary environment. Number two, as we talk about day-to-day stressors, a primary stressor is your workplace, your place of employment, how you earn money, whether you're an entrepreneur, or you are a worker, contractor, 1099, YouTube, social media, whatever. Your workplace can provide a host of situations that trigger one to become stressed. Particularly when I work with people that are in employment assistance programs, the number one, this is relative to my practice. not relative to anybody else's or anyone else saying something different. The number one complaint is workplace stress. Poor communication, once again, with their boss inability to relate, doing someone else's job, poor work conditions, unable to receive benefits or higher pay. The company has unrealistic company policies and procedures that make it difficult for one to complete their job or to function at a high level on their job. Most people work anywhere between 8 to 10 hours a day on a job. There are those that do work about 12-hour shifts. And then there are those that work in jobs where they do doubles, about 16 hours, which is not the large percentage. The average person works about 8 to 10 hours a day on a job. My experience as I engage in therapy to help people deal with stress with the job is to undergo therapy in a manner to help them plan and regulate their emotions, their mindset prior to entering the workplace environment. And when I say 8 to 10 hours of stress, I'm talking about stress that can involve just you preparing for work. The, the stress of just thinking about what you're getting ready to encounter once you go to work. Driving is stressful in that process. Driving to work. Those who catch the bus, the people who catch the bus, you're catching the bus 2 to 3 hours before you even have to go to work. Okay? That in itself, to me, can be very problematic to deal with long term. There are tons of people who use public transportation, but in public transportation, you're basically going to lose 2 to 4 hours a day, about 2 or more hours to get to work early, leaving early just to get to work, and then also it'll take you another 2 or more hours to get home from work if you don't have your own personal vehicle. Dealing in traffic, dealing with environment, work related gossip, belligerent, out of control work partners, supervisors, co-workers. The stress of being productive, managing your time, focusing, organizing oneself. These things are very stressful, particularly dependent on the pace and the deadlines, the requirements of that particular job. Some jobs are just more work intensive than others. But everybody deals with certain environments different. Some people find workplace enjoyable. Many don't. Now, some of that can also stem from the fact that you don't even like working at the place, and you're basically working there because it pays the bills. So that also can have a huge influence on how one manages their stress. But I kind of talked about key areas as it involves the workplace because that's one of the biggest complaints of people saying that they're stressed out. They're stressed out over relationships. They're stressed out as it involves the job itself. Okay? So I just want we have to make note of that. The next thing I want to talk about as it involves stress and it's related to your job is your finances. Struggling working from paycheck to paycheck, not making ends meet, spending more than you're bringing in, You're not making enough income, getting a second job, part-time or full-time, getting a hustle. Some use YouTube as a second income as opposed to getting a second job. And then within social media, it creates its own level of drama and stressors in itself. So when we talk about finances, we're talking about how you realize that I can't continue to spend. I have to watch how I spend. Do I really need cable? Do I really need this expensive cell phone and the plan, or do I need the internet? What is a necessity versus what is a luxury? Car repairs, car insurance, things of that sort, groceries, kids, miscellaneous expenses that come up as it involves kids, health related, etc., school related, things constantly popping up. I got to spend here, I got to spend here, spend there. Managing, just managing your household is stress. After work, you come home, you're attempting to manage your household, particularly when it comes to women, as it involves households, because women by far are more involved in managing the household related activities, as it involves cooking, cleaning, the children, if they have children, maintenance, calling people to make sure maintenance. And then with those things cost, that in itself is also can be stressful. So managing your household, children are stressors. And I know biblically speaking, for many, children are perceived as a blessing. And yes, children are a blessing, but children can stress you out. Children can definitely pose a great deal of problems that can lessen your ability to function in the day, particularly if they have bad behavior, they're disobedient, constantly misbehaving, and not following rules and regulations of the home. What's up, Truism? The Storm Crow. He said facts. Children can definitely turn a positive day upside down. Bad grades, fighting, notes from the school, getting phone calls about your child misbehaving at work, having to pick up your child and bring them home because they're not functioning, or they're functioning at a level that is they cannot be controlled. So you have to come home. They call the parent to pick up the child. This is stressful. These are things that I deal every day, particularly in working in community mental health. So these things are stressful. Kids engaging not only in their education, but also extracurricular activities, sports, piano lessons, cheerleading, boxing, karate. Now, the purpose of me highlighting these things in such order, because for many Americans, this is what consists of their everyday life. You wake up early in the morning, you get your kids together for school. If you got children, get yourself together, make sure that they go to school. You may drop them off to school, you go to work. That in itself is stress before you even go to work, before you even get to work. Once you arrive at work, there's a certain level and circumstances of that whole environment that can be problematic. When you get off of work, You may pick up your children or make sure your children are at home doing the things they're supposed to. If you're married, you communicating or lack of communication with husband that can present a whole host of other issues. Even when you take a lunch break, talking on the phone, texting, or whomever about whatever problems are going on. Life for many and just dealing with the fact that other people can stress you out with attempting to dump their problems on you and asking you for advice on how to deal with their own problems. And you have difficulty dealing with your own personal issues. You get home, make sure the kids are together, doing their homework, studying, they're doing their activities, cooking, cleaning, planning. Maybe you got work you have to bring home that you have to complete for a deadline. Okay. You may talk on the phone and interact. Someone may come over, family, friend, whatever. Noticing what I've talked, little time for self. Where's your me time? Where is the time for you to debrief, to relax, to just focus on self? And that's one of the biggest stressors as it involves living in American society as adults, particularly those that are married with children. When you devote so much time to other things and other people, there's very little time. And so I'm bridging this so that we can pivot to strategies, tips, and strategies. Because time management, self awareness, being cognizant of one's triggers, participating in therapeutic activities that allow you to manage your stress, participating in recreational, whatever it is. But, in many issues, particularly related to complaints in therapy, most of the people that I know that are out of control and overstressed out, they don't usually wind down until 9 or 10 o'clock at night or later. My job as a therapist is to reduce that time earlier and not delay it. That it's more like 7 o'clock, six to 7, or maybe 8 o'clock instead of 9 or 10, because most people are going to bed between 11 and 12 o'clock. Then they wake up in the morning between 6 and 7, and they're off to work again. Shut out the conscious energy. Appreciate you for coming in here. Okay. So we're talking about time management, which is very important. Laying a list of things that you have to do today, not compiling things that you really don't need to engage in. For instance, in many situations of dealing with stress, we create stress by adding things, not knowing how to say no to people. Do we realize how liberating the word no is? I literally spend countless hours teaching people how to say no. No to other people. Just say no. I can't. How you doing, Aaron Hall, the All-Star Advisor? Good to see you here. Just say no. It is okay to say no. It is liberating to say no. It is so relieving. Just say no. Because one of the reasons that people continuously have compiling stressors and they're out of control with it, because they never say no. They don't say no to anybody. Yeah, I can do it. Oh, I got it. I can squeeze it in. I can manage it. I'll try to help. I can't tell the church no. Can't tell my sister no to rate to babysit her children, even though I got three of my own that I can barely manage. Mom wants you to come there to do some minor activity that someone else can do, or it can wait. Some other friend wants you to pick them up from work or do something else that you don't have time to do. Just say no. And the reason why, and they're wondering, why am I always been, it's like everybody needs me. It's not that everybody needs you. It's that everybody know you're going to say yes. So they repetitively come to you because you don't turn people down. You refuse to say no. Trust me, it works. Trust me, saying no works. So I talked about time management, meaning planning your day can reduce stress, planning the things that you really need to do that's important, and those that are not important, you take them out. You say no to those things that you really shouldn't be doing, can't or don't have time. They're not as important. It's okay to say no to those things. It's okay to take them out of your agenda. First thing I talked about initially also is self-care. Taking the time for self-care. Your break for lunch break or whatever should be your personal time. Your personal time to relax so that you can recharge and go back to work and work afterwards. You eat. Yeah, you may have a phone call with someone, but please allow that to be a phone call that is not a stress related phone call. You find yourself, your emotions are heightened, you're angry, your mood is elevated, you're pissed off. It's not necessary. Coming home, I talked about self-care being involved with several things, and I'm going to talk about that. And you all can, and if you would like to in the chat, you can express things that you do to relax, because relaxing is very important to managing stress. I always propose meditation, self meditation. In therapy, I do what's called guided imagery, a guided meditation. I muscle relaxation, deep breathing. I also um, focus on people engaging in aromatherapy with music, soft music, not upbeat, even though some may find that relaxing. But I'm talking about nice, soft, slow music, relaxing music. Some may find upbeat, fast music to be relaxing. Again, to each its own. Everybody's different. I also think one of the most positive forms of self regulating from stress is exercise. Exercise. Exercise at least 3 to 5 days a week. Exercise does not, it doesn't have to be strenuous exercise. If it's just walking a few miles a day, it's beneficial. running, going to the gym, aerobics. There are all types of cool aerobic classes and Zumba and hip hop dance classes and things where movement is involved. Appreciate you for coming in. Must be Trini Gal. Truism states, I'm getting up to 3 miles walking myself. Exactly. I'm doing the same thing. I'm walking and I'm going to the gym about 2 days a week, 2 to 3 days a week, and I'm walking at least twice a week. Matter of fact, um, I walked about 5 miles yesterday. I walked 2 hours, almost 2 hours yesterday. Truism talked about punching a bag. Punching a bag is also a good way of exercise. And it's also good for anger management and stress relief too. Another important thing, we want you to connect with others. We want you to connect to others. But connecting to others, even though social media can be involved in that, social can be a form of relief. But unfortunately, particularly if you're a content creator, it has more of a negative effect, particularly if you're involved in sectors, you're involved in drama, and there's negative engagement going on. It no longer becomes a means of managing your stress. It actually becomes a stressor itself. And I propose managing social media time as far as minimizing it. Okay. Minimizing social media itself. Also, with managing stress, engage in recreational activities. And I know that on YouTube there's an as a gaming sector, gaming and gaming can be looked at as being negative, particularly for men who engage in countless hours of playing video games. But gaming is a form, is a way of managing and taking your mind off of stressful situations. The problem is that you don't want to engage in gaming to the point where you're getting addicted. I think a healthy amount of hours for gaming is 2 to 3 hours. Once you get into the 6 to 8 plus hours a day, particularly if you're doing it straight with no breaks, then we're getting into some problems. It's becoming a little bit unproductive. But a healthy means of gaming, healthy way of using gaming is to you know game for 2 to 3 hours. And I understand in gaming because I participate in a little gaming myself. The 2 to 3 hours goes by really fast, but that's okay. It's serving its purpose. Playing other sports like basketball, volleyball, ping pong, board games. Matter of fact, playing these little games with apps like on your iPad or your tablet that has whatever type of games where they're swiping and different things, those things can be seen as stress relievers. So I'm giving these tips. These are basic things. But the reality is that most people have problems coordinating these activities on a daily basis to minimize the stress that involves relationships, family, children, work related issues, financial issues, environmental issues, not taking on all types of extra responsibilities of other people, not knowing when to I can't do it. What's going on, Germ on the board? And what's going on, brother from a certain age, of a certain age? Appreciate you all for coming in. So I'm giving rise to this because the purpose of this particular session, I'm sorry, of this, but the purpose of this particular video is to encourage to implement those things that can minimize and regulate stress more often and not delay those activities and continue pushing. I'm working. I got to make money. I got to make money. And stress is one of the biggest contributors to severe mental illness and healthcare issues. Stress related issues cause stroke and cause heart disease, high blood pressure. So that's the purpose. Some people like to watch movies. That's fine. Let's walk the beach. If you have a beach, walk the neighborhood. Go walking. Sometimes just sitting outside in the backyard and just quiet, or sitting in your room, laying down, taking a nap, quietness, separation from everything. And adding that to an addition to your activity, unnecessary activities can go a long way in managing your stress. One of the most effective things that I do to minimize stress is to take away small things, a lot of little things that you can do without. And when you become cognizant and aware that I don't need to do this, I don't need to do X amount of things, I can take away this, I can bypass this other activity. I really should not be this busy. Therefore, I have less stress. I'm not stretching myself. Brother of a certain age said, definitely need to distress. I usually take a drive to the beach and just watch the people in the water, walk while listening to an audiobook, and the gym is great. Exactly. You can when I exercise, I go sit down on the balcony or something like that, listen to music. I also play a musical instrument. Playing, if you know how to play a musical instrument, I play piano. I've been playing piano since the age of 9. Learning, writing music, playing music is very, very therapeutic for me. Matter of fact, it's one of the easiest ways that I can relax and distress from life stressors. One of the easiest. Social media to a certain extent. Content creation, it used to serve as a way of me relaxing and kind of taking my mind away, but it's no longer that anymore. It became more of a stressor than than a means to distress. And and as you all know, I've definitely taken a huge dive into no longer doing as much content. I shut a channel down. The D-Derail Live channel is getting ready to be closed again. I'm starting to get back into doing this type of content, my therapeutic related content, because I find that to be more beneficial and I find it to be more rewarding. I do enjoy content creation, but when it comes to the interactions of sectoring and going throughout a sector and being, up to date on things in a sector and functioning within a sector, and you having a certain, um, you know, position in that sector, reputation, and all of the little integral things that involve doxing, and those things are stressors. Those are not stress relievers. Those are not positive means of functioning. And I understand people find it entertaining, and it is entertainment. but it also can have a negative effect. Also, I talked earlier about having parasocial relationships that you can develop online. Those parasocial those parasocial situations and relationships can be quite stressful, no doubt. Okay, so I kind of list a variety of different things. Um, I hope that you all can be mindful of things that I talked about. If it's something that you can do, if you can add an additional thing to your life to engage in, that would be positive. If you want to try some other different things, some people find riding bikes, any type of physical activity. The main thing is that it's self-care, taking the time, whether it's 30, 45 minutes, an hour of self-care for oneself is vital to have optimal functioning daily. Finding yourself trying to solve every problem every day, volunteering to do everything, and you're ignoring oneself is a recipe for disaster long term, because they're going to get to a point where you can't do anything for anybody because you failed to take care of yourself. Okay? So, guys, I do appreciate you for being here today. We're almost at the 50-minute mark. I wanted this particular live stream to last anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour. I do appreciate the engagement today, and I'm going to have more and more live streams that involve talking about a variety of things like stress management, things to help people cope and to function, talking about dealing with things as it relates to mental health, mental illness. Um, all of those things are all interrelated. Again, if you have any questions for me on anything, um, if it's personal mental health issue topic that you're unsure about, you need help, you're more than happy to email me by mburn1718@gmail.com. I also talked about having memberships that I will probably start giving out in about a month or two as I continue to do at least one or two live streams a week and do uploads that are mental health related, or as it involves mental health, anything healthcare related, that they're kind of all intertwined. Okay. So you all have a great day. Happy Juneteenth to each and every one of you. Have a great day.